What's going on, Facebook world? First things first, I want to say that this video is, I don't care if it's liked, it's not meant to be famous or to be shared 1,000 times. You can do whatever you want. I want to talk about recent events from Ferguson to Baltimore, South Carolina, well, our entire country, really. You know, the civil rights movement was thought to end 55 years ago, 1965. It's thought to end then. Never ended. It was just dormant. Just got quiet, got still. You had 3 major deaths at one time, from Dr. King, Malcolm X, to JFK. You know, a lot of people sit here and say that racism doesn't exist, or what's going on in Baltimore, you know, these people are crazy, or those black people shouldn't act like that. I don't promote violence, but at the same time, I ask myself, as a black man, what would I do if I was in that family's shoes? What would I do if that was my son? You know, if that was my son, to be honest with you, in spite of all my beliefs, I probably would want to destroy the world. And you got to understand, with hurt and pain and suffering, you can't control your emotions during those times. You know, a lot of psychologists will tell you that. They try to give people medicine every day. But what I'm here to say really is, I understand that I believe in peace. I do believe in peace. But I still do believe that the justice system isn't equal at all. It's not fair. It's still racist. It's still people in office that are racist. You know, you don't want to admit that. You know, you say these people are violent or those black people are violent. And I'm sitting here thinking, man, you know, you kidnap a bunch of black people, you bring them here on ships. You beat them, you separate them, you divide them, you kill their families. Then after, you know, so long, you say, well, they're human. Before they were property. Before that was my property. You know, Nas said that I think his great grandmother was bought, one of his ancestors was bought for $800. $800. He said that was more money than what he said he had $800 in his pocket right now. You know, that's emotional. You know, it wouldn't be so bad if the fact we would allow racial division to end. You know, it's still segregation, whether you want to admit it or not. Sunday is the most segregated day of the week. You have black churches, you have white churches. If I step foot in some places, I feel uncomfortable. I'm not saying that it's right, and I'm not saying that it's wrong either. I'm saying that these people are upset, man. You know, make a bill, end racial inequality. You know, end racial injustice. You know, these cops are killing young black men. People want to post, cops kill more white people than black statistics show. Man, I read the report. The report doesn't say unarmed. The reports list a number of ways that the person could have died by a police officer. Whether it been them shooting back at them, whether it been they murdered themselves, committed suicide after they were in the police officer's custody, a number of ways. So that's no argument there. What we're talking about is you got police chiefs sending text messages to each other, kill all the effing ends. You know, Hollywood uses the word nigger so much, it's ridiculous, man. Some movies I can't even stand and watch. I get halfway through it, not even halfway, and cut it off. You know, you got people out here saying, well, you black people, y'all kill each other every day. That ain't even true. It's not true. You know, black on black crime, man, has decreased so much. I mean, you can't even, okay, where I'm from, you can't even find one shootout. But it's another problem about where I'm from. Where I'm from, you still have racial problems. Man, the first time I ever worked for the public, I work in a store. And people must know, I work in a store. It's a big store. Man, I deal with racial problems every day. I had people telling me your kind can't help me. I had people telling me I'm a nigga. I didn't know what a moon cricket was until someone called me that at the store. I had to look it up. A jigaboo. You know, I don't want your kind of help. Things like that, man. We got a place in where I'm from. It's called Lincoln, North Carolina. We got one place called West Lincoln, and you can ask any black person if they feel comfortable up there. And a lot of people that come from West Lincoln to tell you that they don't like blacks. Had one guy come in there, he said he just don't like Lincoln High School because they allow blacks and whites to be together. You say that's in order, I always was told, in order to have deliverance, you first have to acknowledge it. In order to be delivered from something, you first have to acknowledge the fact that it's still racial division. Acknowledge the fact that it's still racial injustice in America. These people are tired. These people, my people. I'm gonna say my people because in general, I'm a black man. I'm a stereotype. I'm a statistic. Because I lost both parents at a young age because of the things I went through. I was supposed to be a drug dealer or whatever. People say you thugs. I can't wear sweatpants and a t-shirt and a hat to work without being called a thug. What do you dress like a thug for? What does that even mean? I can't understand that. As far as Baltimore, man, people yelling, pray for Baltimore. Yes, pray for Baltimore, man. Not just Baltimore, man. Pray for our nation, man. Because people, it's there. Whether we want to admit it or not, the civil rights movement never ended. I take U.S. history in college right now. I asked my teacher the same question. I said, when did it end? He said, to be honest, it never did. And that was my same opinion. It never ended. And a lot of people don't even know that most of Jim Crow's laws still exist. The system was built against blacks. It always has been. People don't know that the reason why the crime rates had always been high for blacks because before there were white-only stores. Before you could lock up a lot of black people. If you were accused of something, you were put in jail. People don't realize that on Sunday mornings they used to hang and kill black people after church, man. After church. It wasn't just the KKK. It was a lot of people that did those things. And it's still going on today. I hope peace sweeps our nation. People scream Dr. King's dream, but has it really happened? And has never came to pass. Man, just because you have interracial relationships doesn't mean that it's come to pass. Just because we got desegregated schools, doesn't mean it came to pass. Just because black men can go into the army doesn't mean it came to pass. His dream was of peace. His dream was equality, of justice for all. Not just because of the color of my skin. You got to think about that thing. You got to think about that if it was your family. You can't say that you wouldn't act a certain way. You couldn't say that you wouldn't stand up and protest. I disagree with all the violence that's happening, but you can only push somebody into a corner for so long. But you cannot expect them not to fight back. You cannot. These people have their backs against the walls. They don't know what to do. We don't know what's going on in there, where they live. We don't know what they're facing. You don't know how many encounters that they had to deal with the police officers with racial problems. I tell my best friend, man, at the end of the day, man, I'm always going to be black. And I shouldn't be scared. I shouldn't feel uncomfortable. I shouldn't have to know for a fact, man, that dude don't like me or that woman don't like me because of my skin. People want to quote statistics and crime rates and stuff only to justify things that are happening today and that are happening then. Hollywood paints Jesus is white. Exodus, the Egyptians is white. Not once have you ever seen the true fact that if you study history, and even they'll tell you in Harvard University that Jesus was of color, that Moses and the hieroglyphics proved that they were black, they were Egypt, that Egypt is in Africa. You don't want to learn that, man. You don't want to learn real knowledge, man. Africans were brought here, and it was supposed they come from a savage place, that they're nothing but savages. Their history was taken from them. My ancestors. Now, I'm not saying that, man. I don't want to use the famous quote. You know, people say, well, I have black friends. Well, I have white friends. No, I have friends I care about truly deeply with all my heart. I have people that I care about, no matter what color of their skin. But as for my people, I hope that the racial inequality ends. I hope that it ends. Y'all be blessed. God bless this country. Pray for our world. Pray for peace. Pray for hope and deliverance. Pray for understanding. Try to understand the person that's beside you. You don't know what kind of hurt and what kind of problems they've been dealing with. I have expressed that a lot. Sins against our skin become blessings. Peace.